Get ready for one of the craziest formats we're ever going to see in Yu-Gi-Oh! Kashtira is at full power. The BANLIST has cleaned up most of the Tearlaments, so that means Kashtira has nothing standing in its way. We also have access to crazy cards like the Macrocosmos or Rise Heart. I don't see how we're going to be stopped, so stay tuned and let's get into this deck profile. Real quick though guys, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the video. Let's start off strong with the monsters for Kashtira. Of course, 3 Fenrirs is the way to go. This card is your searcher for the deck. Just search any Kashtira, it's usually always searching the Kashtira Rise Heart. And by the way, if you don't know the combos for Kashtira yet, I highly recommend this video here where we break down how to play the deck and the standard bread and butter combos you can do, as well as a 5-column blocking. So moving on, Kashtira Unicorn, what is actually the real starter of Kashtira, the most notable Kashtira monster, because this card actually searches Kashtira Theosis and the Kashtira Birth. You're able to special summon your banished Kashtira cards, letting you plus off like crazy and getting into those crazy rank 7s. Next up is 3 of Rise Heart. I think this card in a pure deck is actually really important to have at 3. You want to see this card. You're going to see a lot of Iblee, so you can actually normal summon Rise Heart and go into a dagger for hire. Running 2 Tearlaments Kashtira, we want to turbo out our 5-block zone board. The mill effect is actually really good, guys. Don't think you can't mill just because you're not playing Tearlament. You can mill your Kashtira monsters and the Birth can special summon them, which is actually really clutch. Also, it can trigger a Rise Heart's 3rd material, which sometimes in the combo you won't get to the 3rd material. Moving on, we've got 2 Scarecrow Kashtira, so the same emphasis as last time. It can negate monsters because on attack declaration you are technically battling, so you're actually negating a lot of monsters with the Kashtiras. It's great going second to get rid of problematic monsters, because the effect of negating doesn't actually trigger. We've got to do some non-Kashtira cards, but let's be honest guys, this is basically a Kashtira at this point. Dimension Shifter, of course, the Tearlament check, don't get me wrong, the deck has definitely been hit and each Tearlament is at 1. However, you could also substitute these for Bestials maybe if you really like the Bestial package. Shifter hurts a lot of decks in the meta, Sprite, Naturia, Runic for example, a lot of decks it hits. And next up we're running 3 Ash Blossom. Book of Eclipse, maybe running rampant in your locals. It's the easiest out to Kashtira. Brand didn't get hit in the BANLIST. It's actually at full power, which we've never seen before. Of course the OCG, they have hit it quite a few times, and you can also do this against Kashtira. You can hit the Kashtira Theosis sometimes, and that should turn off most of their engine. Next up we are running 3 Sauravis the Ancient Ascended. In the format we're in, I expect a lot of targeting interaction to happen, and most importantly, Imperm on Unicorn is going to be the craziest combo. It can shut down the whole Kashtira engine. When one simple hand trap can do that, you kind of have to try your best to play around it, so we play Sauravis to beat that. And to round off the monsters, we are running the Dino Wrestler Pancratops. You know, again with Birth, you can actually normal summon it, but sometimes in the Kashtira deck, you don't even get your normal summon. You don't even get to use your normal summon. So, you know, seeing a kind of Pancratops is not the end of the world. Don't underestimate the value of Pancratops, and with Sprite Elf being banned, I think this card gets even more better. Let's move on to the spells now, which has an absolutely crazy lineup. I want to show you guys exactly what we're playing with. Coming out first for the spells is the Primitive, or I guess Pressured Planet Race Off. Pressured Planet Race Off is obviously your field spell, your star. On activation can search a Kashtira. That's all we care about. What it comes down to is Race Off is actually your 4th, 5th, and 6th copy of Unicorn. Naturally, inherently with any deck with a lot of high-level monsters, you're prone to bricking. The attack boost is actually very relevant. You'd be surprised how easy it is to get multiple attributes on the field. And also the pop effect, which is probably quite rare to come up when it comes to dealing with regular game states. You don't actually see the pop effect come up too much, but you can actually use it in the combo to help bring out the Diablosis and the 2nd Triangular. But here we go, Kashtira Theosis is your E-Telly for the deck. When banished, it can add a banished Kashtira card to the hand, which is, you know, pretty cool. You can add Birth if Rise Heart banishes it. You can add the Big Bang to, you know, do it again on the opponent's turn, for example. Probably thinking my lineup of Kashtiras is quite a lot, and that the 3rd Birth actually makes sense. However, because it's a continuous spell, you won't get as much value out of it. It kind of has diminishing returns. Kashtira Big Bang, of course, is your extender. When banished, can target a Kashtira Exceed monster, and it can either add or special summon one of the materials. So it's kind of like branded it in red. Unfortunately, the card does not have a great on-field effect. It's basically evenly matched, and it only interacts with monsters, so keep that in mind. Sometimes all you need is the 1 Unicorn. The Prosperity is great to, you know, dig for other cards in the deck. If you're playing cards like Infinite Impermanence, for example, it's great to search that. And then the last thing we're running is Call by the Grave for the spells, and then for the traps is just 3 Infinite Impermanence, the killer of Kashtira, you could say, and that's why we're running it. It's also great in this format. Okay, Callus is banned, so the best Imperm target in tournament is technically gone now, but this card is really good against Sprite as well. You can hit the Sprite Sprint. Sprite Elf is banned, so Imperm gets even better because now you can use it for those targets that you actually want to hit them with. And that's it for the spell and traps. Let's move on to the extra deck now. We'll start off with the Kashtira Rise Heart. Because of the mandatory effect, when a card is banished, you have to attach a banished card to this card. If you didn't know, if you attach a banished face down card it becomes face up. So there's really cool interaction with a card like, for example, Infinite Goliath, to give this card the ability to not be destroyed by card effects. So when you keep detaching, you keep attaching, you can essentially, you know, loot your Big Bangs, your Papayas, potentially Kashtira overlap. We've got Shangri-La, the zone blocker. Shangri-La, of course, can special a Kashtira from the deck in the standby phase, any standby phase. And then, of course, the zone blocking effect. So when a card is banished face down that your opponent controls, you can block a column. Moving on, we have two Zeuses. We are respecting the Kashtira matchup. This is kind of what everyone is doing post Kashtira format. If you control, I believe, no other monsters, it can attack directly. When it attacks directly, detach a material and burn your opponent for 500 for each card in their hand. So a really nice burn strategy as well. So this card is a non-once per turn target, pop, and banish a card from your grave. When you banish a card from your grave, this card suddenly becomes a Kashtira engine card. Banish cards like Papayas in the mid game, and then add a banished Kashtira to hand, which just gets your whole engine started. Next up is the Red Eyes Flame Metal Dragon for the burn strategy. And next up is the number 11 Big Eye. We are running two Big Eyes, same concept as before with the Diablosis. If you have the second Big Eye, I highly suggest running it. However, you can also run cards like the second Lingaribo, one of the craziest cards to exist in Yu-Gi-Oh! This card has a epic storyline. It used to be a prize card and now it's available. You could even say the Kashtira archetype was inspired by this one card, and I find that to be really cool. So you might be running why Lingaribo is in the deck. Well, Iblee is running rampant right now, and post BANLIST I can see a lot of people using that as their tactic to win the game. So we play Lingaribo to use it as material, so we are not locked out of stuff. And Kashtira players do also play Iblee, so keep that in mind. That's another reason why I run it. Dagger for Hire has suddenly become very popular, and it's probably one of the best staples you can get right now in the game, because you're playing Kashtira, because you want nothing on your field so you can special summon. Dagger for Hire is great for that because it pops it itself and a monster on the field. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to drop a like, comment down below if you want me to have a dual commentary video against the new meta post BANLIST, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.